Something dark and scary. Scary Christmas.
Matt had a great time at school. They made Christmas decorations and even got to have snow fights at recess. The school celebrated the holiday, which was a plus for Matt. They even ate Christmas cookies at lunchtime. Miss Peach didn't hand out any tests or quizzes. Instead, she had the class play games, using history as the game so that the class could show off what they'd been taught over the year. Matt got to watch Christmas movies in some of his classes and ate candy as much as he wanted. When school was out, he and his group of friends had a snow fight in front of the school. 5 boys ran after one another. Matt dodged just about all snowballs coming at him. Matt tripped over a hole in the ground, falling on his hands. His friends ran over then let him have it. Matt got up in anger, upset that he lost his footing. He then brushed off the snow. He then looked over at a large oak tree, finding a person facing him with a white mask on. Matt squinted his eyes, then shook his hair, knocking the snow off. He then walked closer to the person. The person stood still and didn't move. Matt spoke, questioning the hider. "Sir, what is your problem?" Matt said. The man stepped out from behind the tree, reaching out one hand for the boy to take it. Matt saw that the fingers were unnaturally long and thin. The man didn't wear a coat like anyone else. Instead, he wore a dark business suit covered in snowflakes. His face is missing, like he was born without any facial features. Matt could see the imprint of eye sockets behind the skin. Matt's heart raced in his chest as the tall, thin man walked over to him quickly. Matt yelled and ran away just as the cold, thin hands touched his arm. Matt screamed and everyone watched him flee from the school. As Matt ran, he didn't understand why anyone didn't seem to see what he was running from. They all just watched him. Matt's friends ran after him, shouting at him to stop. As soon as Matt saw that the faceless man was nowhere to be seen, he stopped and knelt down to catch his breath. His friends caught up to him, then laughed at him. 2 of them started asking why he was freaking out. Matt looked around, noticing a few people staring at him. He then looked at his friends. He didn't want to tell the truth. He didn't want to seem like a scaredy cat, so he lied, then said a spider fell out of the tree and landed on his arm. The boys shoved him around and told him to stop being such a baby. As Matt and his friends walked down the street, Matt kept seeing glimpses of the tall, shadowy figure from the corners of his eyes. When the boys reached Bell Street, one of them were missing, Terry, the class clown. Terry would have said something like, "Catch you guys later," or at least gave them all fist bumps, then took off. Josh, Corey, and Benny were surprised at how they didn't notice that Terry left the group as they walked. Benny laughed, saying he probably had to go pee, so he took off and didn't have time to say bye. The boys all stood in silence for a brief moment, still not feeling too good about Terry vanishing. When the boys reached 7 blocks away from the school, they all stopped again. Josh looked at Matt, Matt looked at Corey, Corey looked at Josh. "Where in the hell did Benny go?" Josh yelled, dropping his book bag. Corey shrugged his shoulders, looking at both Josh and Matt. Tears started to leave Matt's eyes as he felt he needed to say something. But what if he was wrong? What if his friends are playing an awful prank on him? Matt calmed everybody down, then grinned, saying, "Let's keep going." Josh looked around nervously. As the boys walked down the street, from behind them, a pair of dangling legs slid up a tree into the brush. When the boys got to Corey's house, Corey was now missing. Josh jumped back, then started looking up and down the street. He was frightened. He was so scared his voice shook. He was even more scared because as they approached Corey's home, Corey was standing right beside him, showing him a game app on his cell phone. Corey's cell phone lay on the cold ground by Josh's foot. Josh looked over at Matt with tears in his eyes. Matt's mouth was wide open with a shocked look in his eyes. Matt's voice shook as he almost said the name of the entity he believed took their friends. Just as he said S, a long black tentacle shot out from behind a house. It wrapped around Josh's legs and arms, then covered his mouth. Josh's body snapped out of sight within seconds. It was like a swift blur to Matt's eyes. Matt backed away, dropping his backpack. He then ran, bumping into his stalker. Matt looked up at the tall man bending his head back, stretching his neck. He couldn't believe his eyes. Matt could not move as he was stuck in a trance. He wanted to run. He wanted to call out for help, but he couldn't. Everything around him became cloudy and dark. The streets were gray. The people walked past him like he wasn't even there. The tall man leaned down, placing his bony hand on the little boy's shoulder. It then spoke to him using telepathic sound paths. Matt's eyes faded into a bright blue color.
You are safe now. No one can find you. No one can see you. You will be missed.